Hi people, I will show you how to make Sweet Angel Miku's wand for your cosplay. Right now, you will want pink and red acrylic paint and a lawnwood dowel. Squeeze your pink paint on a paper and paint the dowel. Paint the dowel with the pink coat to times. You can see that the wand has a pink to red-pink gradient. Mix your red paint with the pink paint and paint a gradient effect on the edge of the dowel. I would recommend using a sponge brush to make the gradient more gradienty. Now repeat the process on the other side. As you can see, I am done painting it, and there are gradients on both sides. Now we will use Mod Podge to keep the paint from peeling. I'm using the sparkly one. I would recommend coating it 1 or 2 times. I'm done with Mod Podging it, and as you can see, it is shiny now. Now we will make this weird thing, which I'm scared to make because I'm not good at geometry. Make the weird cone thing by patterning 3 small half-circle skirt patterns. Trace the pattern onto foam. Cut it out with a box cutter. Make a cone with the cut-out foam semicircles. You will want hot glue to glue the foam semicircles into cones. Once you have 3 cones, make a lava lamp shape. This is what it should be shaped like. Now you will prime it with Mod Podge. I recommend putting 2 or 3 layers of Mod Podge. You will now need black and orange acrylic paint. Mix the 2 together and paint your lava lamp with it. If you want, you can add a bit of yellow. When the first layer dries, paint a second layer with only yellow paint. Now we paint 2 layers of Mod Podge to seal it. Now we will make this pink gemstone. Make a half-circle skirt pattern on paper, where the inner circle is the circumference of the bottom of your lava lamp. After you cut it out onto pink plastic, vinyl, make another half-circle shape, but this time there is no inner circle. Now you glue it into a Sims for crystal shape. And then you glue it into the bottom of your lava lamp. Then you glue it and shove it into your pink dowel. Now we make this part. Measure the circumference of your dowel and make it into a 6 inches x your circumference square on your foam. Then you hot glue it into a cylinder shape. Prime it with 2 layers of Mod Podge. Now paint your foam cylinder the same way with the same colours you used for the lava lamp. Black and orange acrylic mixed together. You can add yellow if you want. Then you coat it again once it dries with only yellow paint. Then you seal it with 2 layers of Mod Podge. We now make the wings. For the big pair of wings on the wand, make a pattern out of paper. I have illustrated the pattern, so if you want you can print it out and trace it. Then you get your foam and trace the pattern onto it. And you cut it out with a box cutter. Trim the rough edges with scissors. Now use clay to give the wings those bone things. Smooth it out with water. Then add those wing detail things. When the foam clay on your foam wings is dried, prime it with Mod Podge once. First, do a base coat of just white paint. When the first base of white paint dries, paint it again with white paint. In total, paint 3 layers of white paint since acrylic paint on foam clay can crack. Then add details with pink paint and the sponge brush. We use Mod Podge again to seal it. Now seal it with 2 layers. Repeat the process on the other side. We now make the small wings. Here is an illustration of the pattern for the small wing. Print and trace it if you want. Trace it on foam. Cut it out with a box cutter. Trim it with scissors. When you have small wings cut out, put the detail things with foam clay. Smooth it out with water. Prime it with 2 layers of Mod Podge. Then coat it with 3 layers of a white base. Add details with pink paint and a sponge brush. Seal it with Mod Podge. We now make the rose. Get a strip of fabric that is 5 inches by 24 inches and fold it in half and pin it. Sew it so that it forms a tube. Turn it inside out. Sew the 2 bow punnings closed. Hand sew it together while rolling it in strange ways to form a rose. We now make the heart. Make the pattern for the heart. I've illustrated a pattern so you can print and cut it out if you want. Cut out the pattern. Since the shape is complicated, pin it onto foam and then trace it. Cut it out. I would recommend using scissors instead of a box cutter because this is a complicated shape. Once you have finished cutting it out, adjust the edges with sandpaper and scissors. Pin it and trace it onto foam. You want the 2 hard outlines to be as identical as possible. Then prime it with Mod Podge. You only need it on one side because we are going to stack the 2 hearts together. Paint it white and then seal it with Mod Podge. When it dries, cut out a heart that fits in the big heart hole. Sandwich them together with hot glue. I forgot to do this, but I would recommend putting wire inside so that it is more stable. Glue everything together. Ta-da!